rent from letting out of a shop in a mall will also be taxed under the head income from house property. To that extent, the word house property is a misnomer in the section. It is income from letting out of any property करके होना चाहिए, but house property करके है. Again, 80 years old dispute. Shambu Investments and Sanghu Brothers. There are two conflicting heads of income. Income from house property, income from business or profession. What will happen if the business of a person is purchasing a house and letting it out? That is, he constructs a housing complex and then lets it out and earns rent out of it. He purchases a commercial complex, constructs a commercial complex, doesn't sell the offices to any person, but only lets it out on both their thing. IT parks are all are only on leave and license basis. No one will sell the property because they feel there will be appreciation. बाद में बेचेंगे, अभी I will only let it out. When you let out property of such nature, you will have to provide lots of other auxiliary services also. Godowns B, the free trade warehousing zones, etc., are all on leave and license basis. How will you tax the income in the hands of the owner? Will you tax it as income from house property or income from business? Because he is in the business of letting out. Conflicting judgments of the Supreme Court again. One set of judgment, Kanakpura properties, etc., say that there's a specific head of income, that is income from house property. The fact whether you carry it as a business or not is irrelevant. Once there's a specific head of income, the income should be taxed on that head only. That is Kanakpura. Recently, judgment of Justice Nariman in I forgot the name of this. He said, how can it be? The head income from house property contemplated rental income will be passive income. That's why I say I have saved some money. Out of that, I purchase a house, I let it out to someone. Passive income, I don't incur any cost. But if you take a mall, for example, where the shops are let out, it is not just letting out of property. I have to incur huge cost for upkeep of the mall. Mall के लिए security देना पड़ रहा है, parking देना पड़ रहा है. वो माल बनाने के लिए बाहर से लोन लेके उसका रेंट भी देना पड़ रहा है, उसको डिडक्शन ही नहीं मिलेगा if it is income from house property. The deduction is capped at 30% of the income. Interest is also allowable only subject to certain limits. Pre-commencement interest is also allowed on phased manner. All such things is not intended when you let out a property as a business. Okay, they Justice Nariman head, it will be taxable as income from business. So conflicting. I argued a matter for a mall, Nasik one mall. Succeeded. I argued and succeeded saying that it is income from business. चार्ट अकाउंट बाद में आए थे और बोले थे सर आप तो सक्सीड कर दिए, इट इज इनकम फ्रॉम बिजनेस, पर वो इनिशियल ईयर्स ऑफ बिजनेस था, अगले साल में कुछ खर्चा ही नहीं है सर, अगले साल से हमें हाउस प्रॉपर्टी इनकम दिखाना है क्योंकि 30% डिडक्शन मिल जाएगा. पिछले साल में एक्सपेंडिचर ज्यादा था बिकॉज इट वाज इनिशियल ईयर्स, अभी तो स्टडी हो गया, हमें कुछ खर्चा ही नहीं है वो मॉल चलाने के लिए, तो हमें इनकम फ्रॉम हाउस प्रॉपर्टी दिखाना है. सो assessee is also same assessee wants both covered business income house property also. Plus, abhi there is a big boom in, I don't know whether it's happening in Nagpur, homestays. Yes. And Airbnb, you Nagpur में घर नहीं खरीदेंगे, they will purchase a house in Tadoba or Beach, a bungalow. Generally, historical understanding of us of letting out a house properties आके 11 महीने रह लेना, 3 साल रह लेना, 4 साल रह लेना. The newer concept of letting out is weekend में जाके रह लेते, holiday season में जाके रहने का, holiday homes as they call it. How will you tax income earned by a owner when he lets out the property to a person for 2 days? How will you tax or how will you provide deduction for the expenditure that he incurs to bring a depleted property into a livable condition? वो सब fancy stage होता है. बॉम्बे के सामने लोनावाला and नासिक इगाटपुरी में the per day rent of property is more than a 5-star hotel's property. बॉम्बे में ताज में the rental is 10,000 rupees. Whereas in Lonavala, a bungalow का rent is 30,000 rupees. On a weekend, वो भी मिलता नहीं है 6 महीने के पहले पूरा अमाउंट डिपॉजिट करके नॉन रिफंडेबल दे देते बुकिंग करके नॉन रिफंडेबल इतना कॉस्टली होगा. How will you tax that? That house will be locked for 20 days in a month. Will be let out only for weekends. On 5 different weekends, there will be 5 different tenants. How will you tax it? Some people again wanted it to be taxed as business income because they are incurring huge costs. Some people wanted it to be taxed as house property income because 30% reduction मिल जाता है. Business income हो जाता है, the rental income they will be liable to tax audit, they have to maintain books of account, they have to deduct TDS, what are problems? Now to put an end to it, they have specifically stated any income from letting out of a residential house will be taxed under the head income from house property only and not as business income. This amendment will apply only to a residential house, will not apply to commercial complexes, etc. This amendment, what is meant by residential house is not clear. There in GST, you have a separate rate of taxes for letting out of a residential house, etc. Some guidance can be taken out from that. But still, what is meant by residential house is not clear. People, we will now start arguing that when I am going to let out a property only for one day, then you cannot call it as a residential house. Residential house is one where people come and stay for a longer period of time. These vacation stay homes, though people come and stay, are not intended for residence for a long period of time. Okay. आजू बाजू में किराना का दुकान भी नहीं है. You cannot stay there for more than 2 days. You will get bored. And that's another round of litigation that's going to start.
Okay, here one issue.
Yes, sir.
Suppose I have a residential property, knowing fully well that it is a residential property sanctioned by corporate as a residential property. I give it on a rent to Naresh. Naresh uses it as a business property or his office purposes.
Big problem.
So what will happen? So far as I am concerned, whether it will be treated as a residential income or a house property income or a business income, that is an issue.
Big problem. Ordinarily,
Now in a GST, the position is clear. In such a situation, he will pay it as a reverse charge. Yes.
because he is using it for commercial purpose.
Yes.
GST regulations say property which is used for commercial purpose. They don't distinguish between residential and non-residential. अब घर लेके उसको commercial use कर रहे हैं, it will be.
Second, in Nagpur, there were a lot of landlords
Hmm.
who are having a lot of properties and they let it out maybe on a monthly basis or a yearly basis also. That income will also be taxed as an house property.
Yes. Letting out of house property. How the tenant uses it.
It's not
It's
relevant. It's
It's
not relevant.
It's not.
So what about the homestay, especially they will be also taxed as a residential property?
Now it will be taxed as
Because-
income from business, income from house property.
Everywhere Nagpur or in and around Nagpur, that is going on ki you purchase a farmhouse or book a farmhouse and we will let it out for some period for the visitors. So that will be considered a homestay tax under residential.
Income from residential. Income from house property.
Sir, I also have one now. Sir,
Achha, I thought you were going to say I am also having one house property.
He's having not one, he's having.
हाँ वही पूछना था.
generally, house properties rented by individuals. But sometimes we regularly see that directors के लिए companies rent it out and directors stay there. Or company takes a guest or something. So will that also come from the house property or?
Owner is a, no matter who is a owner, whether individual, HUF, corporate or anybody can.
This is not something which is specific to individuals. This is specific to owner of a property. Owner can be, there can be a company which is in the business of, in judgment in Bombay High Court, Delhi High Court, unsold properties.
Yes.
They constructed a huge tower. They were not able to sell all the flats. The remaining flats, the Delhi High Court held should be taxed as income from house property. Notional value should be taxed.
Yes.
Almost all the guests will be covered under the income from house property only now.
Yes, sir.
So everyone whosoever is running.
वो देखना है if you can say that this is used for commercial purposes.
But then
So
the
just
properties,
like-
the properties residential, it will be it will be assessed as income from house property only actually. then.
Or you have to use self-use.
Even the guest houses or for that matter is your, what you call the, yeah, maybe
Quarters.
holiday stays, quarters or what you call that. अपना क्या बोलते हैं अपने concept है?
Yeah, paying guest.
Paying guest तो ठीक है, homestays, everything will come as a.
बड़े बड़े बिजनेस बड़े से क्लब महिंद्रा
हाँ,
उनका सेंक्शन भी रेजिडेंशियल में होता है एक्चुअली।
अच्छा।
वहाँ पे
एक्चुअली काफी लोगों ने आजकल वो बना के रखे हैं। जैसे महिंद्राज का बन रहा है यहाँ पे, जिसने बनाया है रामटेक में पेज में बन रहा है, 32 एकड़ में बना रहे हैं। तो पूरा वो सेंक्शन तो रेजिडेंशियल क्वार्टर्स के रहते हैं।
बड़ा problem. Because they will incur huge cost
एब्सोल्युटली।
for maintenance also. Most probably 30% reduction.
Therefore, they will have to argue that this is a business income.
Ah.
30% cap is not,
They're going to losses.
Yes.
This is another method being used by companies for evading taxes. We all know when we transfer an asset, we have to pay capital gain tax on it. Transfer is you sell, you are the owner today, you give up the ownership to some other person, that is regarded as transfer. There are some exceptions as to what are the things that will be subject to capital gain taxes. One of the exceptions is if you gift a property, on that you need not pay capital gain taxes. If father gives a property to daughter or to a son or granddaughter, they did not use the word gift to a relative, you can give to any person. There will be no income tax on that as capital gains. The primary intention behind this is gift is always done out of natural love and affection. I will not give a property as gift to a neighbor with whom I always have a parking fight. I will gift only to my relatives. And that is the intention of the legislation. But everything goes by intention, we lawyers cannot make money. A company, say for example, has shares of some subsidiary company. They want to transfer the subsidiary company shares to the director or to a shareholder or to some other company. What do? We say the company is gifting the shares to the director. Gift is exempt from taxes. Therefore, company will not pay taxes. And court also approved it because strictly speaking, the existence of love and affection for a transaction to be regarded as a gift is only a misnomer. If a document is termed as gift, then it is in law a gift whoever it gives, whoever is giving the gift. Owner can give the assets owned by him. Owner can be a company also. So therefore, technically speaking, company can also gift. So many people were evading taxes in this manner. Company will gift it and will say, I will not pay taxes. Director will also not pay taxes because director is located abroad. Income does not accrue in India. To overcome this, they have now amended the definition relating to exempt transfers, which was earlier simply said gifts will be exempt from taxes. Now they are saying gifts by an individual or a HUF alone will be exempt from taxes. In other words, exemption was given to gifts. That exemption is curtailed to gifts given by individuals and HUF only. Everything else will be taxable. Gift में ordinarily people ask, कुछ consideration तो मिलता नहीं है. Even if you say that gift is a transfer, then there is no consideration, no tax liability. We have all sorts of dealing fictions. If you transfer a property for a consideration less than the fair market value will be deemed to be the consideration. It is applicable to immovable property, it is applicable to shares in a company. These two are the subject matter of significant amount of things.
Yes.
So once exemption for gift is denied, then fair market value of the property automatically is deemed to be the consideration. That's it. This is another change that they are proposing to make.
In any case, if the recipient is not relative, in his identity.
In his hands it is taxable. That is different. In his, उसमें क्या करते हैं? वो non-resident बन जाते हैं. वो नहीं कर.
Very
Sir?
exceptional cases.
This is used as a measure of tax planning. So because these gifts sometimes are running into hundreds of crores. People say, I'll go to Dubai and stay for 1 year, become a resident of Dubai, gift लेके वापस India आ जाओ. Some people, big businessmen have planned their stay in such a way that they are resident of no country. If you stay in India for 60 days, you become a resident because of 365-day criteria. They will stay in India for 59 days, Singapore for 59 days, Dubai for 59 days. ऐसे करके पूरा year they will be rotated. And it practically seen. And that's why last year they brought in an amendment to say that if you hold an Indian passport but resident of no country, you will be deemed to be a resident of India. 50 lakhs is
अपना नागपुर वाले तो सोचते भी नहीं है सच
नागपुर में भी
एक्चुअली गिफ्ट का भी नागपुर का इसका एक एक्सटेंडेड वर्जन था
हाँ।
फैमिली सेटलमेंट में जो प्रॉपर्टी दी गई थी दैट वाज नॉट डीम्ड एज टैक्सेबल
taxable.
तो उसका नेक्स्ट वर्जन था गिफ्ट ऑफ दिस पार्ट ओनली
Yes.
पूरी सुप्रीम कोर्ट में
इंडिविजुअल और एचयूएफ तो अभी भी एग्जाम है ना
गिफ्ट एग्जाम्प्ट है, रिलेटिव को एग्जाम्प्ट है, बट दूसरे को दिया तो उसके हाथ पे तो टैक्स होएगा ना, बात तो एक ही होगी. Whether you pay or he pays, बात तो एक ही होगी.
in many business families, sir, assets are always not in the name of the individual. Sometimes company के नाम पे भी बन जाते हैं. Huh? So when a family settlement happens, a bungalow which is held in the name of the company will be handed over to one of the son or daughters. The family, वो सब अभी exemption नहीं मिलेगा.
हमारे यहाँ पे कई लोगों की बंगलो कंपनी होती है.
क्या होता है
वो सब में अभी exemption नहीं मिलेगी. They are going to transfer it to the हाँ वो कर सकते
ऐसे थोड़ी शेयर जाते हैं, बंगले को अलग थोड़ी शेयर होते हैं.
लेकिन वो कंपनी उसको ट्रांसफर कर
कंपनी पूरी ट्रांसफर कर दो, बात अलग है. तो शेयर के ऊपर कैपिटल गेन आएगा ना.
हैं. Modi government initially came. They said that black money हटा देंगे. And they found, as a matter of fact, that huge amount of black money is being flown or being routed into shares of private limited companies.
Second largest investment of black money after
First is land, second largest investment of black money is shares of a company. क्या करते थे? If a businessman wants to pay a bribe to a politician, they will set up a private limited company with 10,000 shares of 10 rupees each, 1 lakh share capital. And in that company, they will subscribe these 10,000 shares at a price of 100 crores. Company में 100 crores का cash आ जाएगा. ये कहीं से आएगा? कलकत्ता में कोई झोपड़पट्टी में रहता है, उसके नाम पे शेयर्स वगैरह बना देंगे. There's a huge network of this. हवाला network for all these things. कंपनी के 100 crores आ जाएगा, 10,000 shares. The businessman will ask who is the shareholder to sell the shares to the politician or his nominee at 10 rupees. So, 100 crore politician के हाथ में चला गया. This politician will sell it to someone else and at 100 crores and take the money.
वाइट हो गया सब
White हो गया पूरा. And इसमें ब्यूटी ये है कि ये कंपनी को स्टॉक एक्सचेंज में लिस्ट कर देते हैं. टैक्स भी कम हो गया. This is what is called as penny stocks. बहुत बड़ा स्कैम है. Second largest, as sir pointed, second largest route for black. To overcome this, in the year 2012, they brought in a specific provision in income tax to say, if a company receives consideration by issuing shares, and the money received is higher than the fair market value of the shares, company में कुछ है ही नहीं, 10 रुपए का शेयर है, आप 1 crore रुपए में बेच रहे हो, then the difference between the fair market value and the face value of the shares, the difference between the consideration received and fair market value of shares will be deemed to be income of the company. क्योंकि they tried going behind the झोपड़पट्टी वाला to collect the taxes. तुम शेयर होल्डर हो, तुम्हारा अकाउंट से पैसा आया है, तुम कहाँ से आए हो, उसका टैक्स भरो करके दे. Then they found they are not able to catch them. पैसा तो कंपनी में है, कंपनी बोल रही है तो कैपिटल है मेरा. Capital is not income, I will not pay taxes. Supreme Court upheld it also. Except for one Bombay High Court of Justice, everyone upheld it also. So therefore in 2012 they brought in this section to say, if a company issues fresh shares and receives consideration for that. Consideration received minus fair market value of the company will be deemed to be income. That's all chala. Now they have brought in lots of measures to reduce black money, at least they think so. But what was happening is, as a side effect of this, at the same time, startups were booming. Zomato, which is a loss-making company even today, people were investing crores of rupees. If you ask the investor to show what is the fair market value of the share, how much share to negative 1,000 rupees, shares are being 10,000 rupees. 11,000 rupees becomes income in the hands of company. And all these tech companies, these new age companies, artificial intelligence based companies, this was creating a problem. Many of them represented, many foreign investors represented, saying that hum to paisa de rahe hain so that they can do business. Usme to 60% is going as taxes. Hum kyun de rahe? So to improve that, with effect from 1st of I think September or so, they are abolishing this tax. 1st of April, they are abolishing this tax to say that going forward, if money received as capital will not be subject to tax. Again, going back 10 years.
So till now, all these companies were paying taxes, Zomato, this and all that.
Huge litigation, sir. Bombay High Court, I have 15 matters. Recently, yeah, this notices started.
Zomato is listed, वहाँ तो कोई issue नहीं है.
They listed तो अभी हुआ.
उसके पहले जो भी investment
But the funds have listed much earlier than that.
It's not a problem.
वो burn करने के लिए cash चाहिए रहती ना उनको.
This reported judgment SLS Energy करके श्रीधरन सर आर्ग्यू किए थे 1,200 crores. They wanted to set up a power plant.
So but अभी जो fair price में लेना है उससे ज्यादा में लिया वो difference पे taxability नहीं रहेगी उसपे.
अभी
Other companies also.
अभी नहीं रही.
अभी नहीं रहे. Going forward
Or
first.
other companies also.
No.
All
Startup. Startup.
नहीं, any company, unless you are a listed
तो
company.
मैं मेरे कंपनी के 10 रुपए के शेयर 100 रुपए में बेच सकता हूँ.
पहले भी बेच सकते थे.
नहीं पहले तो वो अगर फेयर प्राइस से ज्यादा में बेच रहा हूँ तो टैक्स आ जाए.
बेचने की बात नहीं है. When company receives for fresh shares, this section is applicable when a company issues. Company receives the money.
I am giving the authorized capital नहीं बढ़ रही है मेरी.
हाँ.
I am giving you my share for 100 rupees. You will pay me 100 rupees for a 10 rupee share.
90 rupees is taxable.
Taxable.
Yes, in your hand.
नहीं but angel tax तो आपने बोला ना
वो एक 9 से खत्म होएगा ना अभी.
एक 9 के बाद सर.
एक 9 के बाद में.
एक 9 के बाद कुछ नहीं हो, जो fully free, no problem.
वो तो फिर वापस वो कलकत्ता से पैसा आने लगेगा.
वो तो आएगा ना.
अभी वो सोच रहे हैं कि कलकत्ता वाला फोन वगैरह सब बंद कर दिया हमने, यार आना बंद हो जाएगा.
ओह.
उनका
पैसा आता कहाँ से, स्कीम कहाँ से आती, कैलकाटा या अहमदाबाद, दो ही जगह से आती है और कैसे नहीं आती.
आजकल राजस्थान भी आ रहा है. अच्छा, राजस्थान वाले सिर्फ स्कीम बनाते हैं, चलाने वाले तो कलकत्ता. Angel tax from 1st September we are going back 10 years. 2012 के पहले जो small amendment. So I will stop at 510. There was many cases of delay in deposit of TDS, not intentional. And they started issuing too many prosecution notices to the directors, including foreign directors. They have brought in a provision now to say that if there is a delay in deposit of TDS, but you have deposited the TDS before the due date for filing TDS returns, then irrespective of the amount or the period for delay, prosecution will not be initiated.
Interest rate.
With retrospective.
No, sir, prosecution. This is what sir is very unhappy about. TDS on table to partners.
I am not happy.
Sir is unhappy about because huge compliance burden. And see the rate of TDS 10%. इतना तो tax भी नहीं होगा उनके हाथ.
I have so many illustrations with me.
Yes.
That whatever TDS made, and more particularly, this will have an impact on the professional.
Yes.
The good sized professional firm having a 1 crore rupees income with 4 partners. 1 crore rupees income, there would be 10 lakhs rupees TDS in the hands of, assuming that.
Yes.
So 10 lakh rupees is the TDS. Now 1 crore, you consider 50,000, 50 lakhs as the profit of the company, and from that you deduct the partners remuneration etc. say around 30 lakhs. तो 20 lakhs के ऊपर में आपको टैक्स देना है 60,000 6 lakhs रुपीज 10 में से 6 गए 4 लाख को रिफंड लेना बाकी कंपनी के हाथ में फर्म के हाथ में ना 20 lakhs आपको जो दिए 30 lakhs आपने 4 पार्टनर को दिया 7.5 लाख पार्टनर के इसमें
Zero
आएगा
tax.
जीरो टैक्स आएगा और हर एक के अंदर में 75
लाख।
हजार का टीडीएस होएगा तो चारों फर्म में आपका 3 लाख का टीडीएस हो गया चारों 7 लाख रुपए तो आपके डिपार्टमेंट में जमा हो गया
Rate of TDS is also high, 10%.
10%. That's
If you want to track saying that people are not paying, keep the TDS at 1%.
Yeah, but there is no reason for this, na? If the firm is there, firm is always required to declare what is the share they have given to their partner as a remuneration, etc., etc. There is no reason for that.
थोड़ा सा एंजल टैक्स के बारे में जो फिर the identity of the source and the source that remains
वो तो कभी भी रहेगा
Oh, that is in section 68.
वो तो कभी भी रहेगा
You have to prove the source and source of source. That is separately existing.
कोई चीज के लिए आपको सोर्स तो बताना ही पड़ेगा कि
194C and 194, they are given some clarification. I think once TDS is liable to be deducted on 194C, you not again deduct it on 194C. Some small rate of.
rate reduction.
That's all I wanted to cover. The other slides on new employment incentives which they have announced.
I think that you may cover in a minute or two.
can you do a little bit elaboration on this MSME?
That's right. You may
43BH. Huh? MSME 43BH, sir.
So that will give this new employment incentive
New
scheme
employment.
because the industries are here.
Yes, sir.
They may be in a position to get.
I also thought this is going to be a great scheme. They are going to bring in something like 80 JJA to say if you employ new people, you will get income tax exemption. Salary paid to them, you will get 2 times reduction. Kuch nahi.
I was looking more at the collateral free loan up to 100 crores to MSME. That was the something.
Employment, I will tell you, sir, then you will say that nahi chahiye.
नहीं employment तो मुझे चाहिए ही.
They say, if you take fresh employees and employ them, on the contribution that will be made to EPFO, you will get a refund of 3,000 rupees per month. They have brought in 3 schemes. In one scheme, refund will be given directly to the employee, but the employer has to ensure that the employee does not leave within 1 year. If the employee leaves, whatever was given to the employee will be recovered from the employer.
Yeah.
Second scheme is, they will partly give it to the employee and partly to the employer. But they will, your employer has to first deposit the money to the EPFO, then they will give it as a deferment after 4 years. Subject to the employee continuing for 4 years. Third scheme is, again, they will give to both, but it will be applicable only to fresh employees. If you are worked in some other company and comes to you, you will not get the deduction. You will have to go for campus recruitment and take it from college, only then you will get. All these are eyewash. And amount involved, 2,000 rupees, 3,000 rupees per employee, you will get it after so many years. And budget allocation, they say, is so many lakh crores.
That's why I wanted that you should speak something for about the scheme to the industry because the industry gets carried away from budget that we will be getting. So
As sir said, everything in the minutest detail is practically impossible to do. Like a GST, they say we are waiving of all interest, but so many caveats, nothing gets covered. वो बोलते हैं ना पैसा लेके भगवान को अब मैं दे देता अब जो चाहिए रख के बाकी मुझे दे देना ऐसे ही nothing.
MSME 43B आपको चाहिए था.
Oh, that is
Maybe not in budget, but then
2 years back they introduced. If say for example.
नहीं I'm not talking about 3B. MSME की स्कीम के अंदर में collateral free उन्होंने लोन का अमाउंट बढ़ाया है.
वो देखा नहीं वो फाइनेंस बिल का पार्ट नहीं है.
फाइनेंस बिल का पार्ट.
Finance bill का नहीं budget speech में है, slightly covered it. They say that when we go to a bank to take a loan, bank asks for security. Of course, they will ask, considering the number of things. They will set up a new bank or a corporation, like we have SIDBI for small industries, Credit Guarantee Corporation. that institution will provide guarantee to the bank that if this MSME does not pay, I will pay the amount to you. The guarantee generally when third party gives a guarantee, some guarantee commission is payable. For that, they will give some subsidy. It is not guarantee free loan. Guarantee will be provided by a third party institution set up by the company. And that third party institution will take a nominal guarantee.
But the amount is substantial, I think up to
100 crores is what they say, but we have to see the policy document which is not yet released. Budget में बोल देते हैं like any budget rally, black money हटा देंगे करके. But what is actually coming into transfer is that we have to see. That's all from me. Any specific questions you will
Thank
do.
you. Good.
You can take forward the questions, the sessions actually, if any question is there.
In effect, from October 2024, there are more strict rules about that obtaining tax clearance certificate before traveling abroad.
Yes.
So can you please throw some light on that?
This is, yeah, they realized that once income tax department or the revenue authorities get to know about fraud being committed by people, they fly away abroad. Our Vijay Mallaya, Chokshi are all examples which are in the newspaper, but there are hundreds of other people who are not in the news. So they are saying that if you are going to go abroad, earlier we used to get
Income tax clearance certificate.
income tax clearance and selling. Okay.
Prior to 76, I think.
Prior to subsidy, you have to get income. Now they are introducing that to say.
92 का तो था,
Uh-huh.
92, 76 तक.
नहीं 92 का तो मैंने लिया है, इसलिए मेरे को मालूम है.
So you have to get a clearance that you don't have any binami properties, etc. Only then you will be permitted to go abroad. How they are going to implement
Every month if I am traveling, I have to take it.
No, it will be generally valid for a particular period of time.
So if I have to travel abroad, I have to take income tax clearance certificate.
But sometime for
पहले
business
37
purpose,
G
travel.
का फॉर्म था. 37 G फॉर्म था पहले.
ऐसे कुछ था फॉर्म, मतलब वो मतलब लेना पड़ता था और 3 महीने के लिए वैलिड रहता था.
हाँ बराबर वही बात है. 90
Suppose you have some
96 बोल रहे
litigation
थे,
going on with the
94
income
में
tax
मैंने भी
department.
किया था.
There is big problem at what is the rule that they will, this might be one of the rules to say that you settle all the litigation with income tax department, only then I'll give you the certificate.
No, but litigation makes.
तो वो पैसा खाने का एक तरीका दे दिया इनको डिपार्टमेंट
नहीं, नहीं, वो-
पहले क्या था? पहले भी वही था.
वही था ना?
If I am having export and I am providing services outside India,
Yes.
so I have to employ one person for sitting into the income tax department to get the clearance certificate.
The most sought after post in income tax earlier used to be that in the customs clearance. Customs clearance means there will be an income tax officer who will give a certificate to all the shipping companies. Ships will be allowed to go only after that certificate is issued.
मतलब वो सेक्शन 230 है ना ये
230.
230A था.
230. Shipping.
नहीं पहले 230A था.
So because if the ship goes out of the country and if there is any tax dues, they cannot collect. They cannot collect it. They are bringing same thing for individuals also.
This is the way they say less governance.
That's why I said ना, ease of doing
पैसा
business.
खाएगा वो इनकम टैक्स ऑफिसर, इसको भी